Hey Dunchbags, what's going on? It's Landon Remixes. I still have a mustache, planning on shaving it probably today, so this will be, I think, the last you'll see of it with this review of the debut album from Flosstradamus. This one's called HDYNATION Radio. And you guys have been requesting this a ton, especially after my Yellow Claw review, which was actually pretty successful. I was surprised because I gave it a freaking 5 out of 10. With this one, you can probably expect where it's going to go because I did say that Yellow Claw's trap album was one of the best trap albums I've heard this year, and this one being in a similar spot musically, you can't expect my opinions to be much better. If you know what I'm trying to say, I really didn't love this one much at all. In fact, I think a majority of this album was released prior to the album's release, which was pretty disappointing. They kind of just dropped this one randomly, which is probably good that they didn't hype this one out, because if they did, my opinions would be even lower than they are right now. This album even includes Mosh, which I think was released in 2013, correct me if I'm wrong. Also includes a majority of the Soundclash EP. I think they included every track from that EP except for the track with Run the Jewels, which I was actually really disappointed that they didn't put on this one because I really like Run the Jewels and I'm hyped to hear their next work. But of course, the one track that I was actually looking forward to hearing from that EP, other than Soundclash, which was one of my favorite trap jams with Troy Boy, of course they had to take off the one with Run the Jewels. So that was kind of disappointing. They do bring some new fire to this one, like the track Lighters Up with Nightmare, and I've been getting a little bit more into Nightmare lately, especially following the release of Street, which I think is one of the best trap jams, at least I've ever heard. It was on Skrillex's ID list for a long time, and when it finally released, people were going nuts. I was going nuts because I didn't really like Nightmare before that point. Lighters Up is nothing spectacular, but it's at least a little bit more interesting than most of the tracks on this record. Like I said, Soundclash is pretty interesting, but the fact that it was released so long ago and I've already heard it kind of disappoints me. Prison Riot, straight up cringy. I do like Mosh Pit. As an original track, I think last time I heard it, it was on a remix on the Ultra Music Festival soundtrack. I think Ultra 2014. I could be wrong about that. And for the most part, I think Flosstradamus hit it in a really good spot where they have a lot of popularity, but their production really hasn't matched up to it yet. For how popular they've been getting, I really don't think they're good enough musicians as of this point to be able to be putting out a full-length debut record. Although this one is a full length, it doesn't really feel like it at times. It feels like an EP almost, because most of the material we've already gotten before. And the fact that they stick the Prison Riot VIP at the end, which I'm going to rant about really quick. The Prison Riot VIP is probably less good than the original, even though I didn't like the original that much, and the mixing is completely off. If you listen to the context of the record, finally get to Prison Riot VIP, it's quiet, the mixing is off, the mastering sounds bad too, and overall I really don't think it fits in. They should have just thrown it away, maybe released it separately on another EP or something after a little bit more work had been done. For now, this is what we get stuck with. There's the track Pillz with Yellow Claw, which I think was released as a single a while ago. I could be wrong about that. It's one of the more interesting picks, probably because Yellow Claw is one of the most talented producer trios of trap in the industry, I think. Didn't love it though. There's a track with Valentino Khan, MFU, and you can definitely hear Valentino Khan sound a lot in this. Probably didn't even really need Flosstradamus on this one. Honestly, I'd love to see Flosstradamus after this album branch out into some more interesting genres, maybe try out some electro house. I'd love to see how they could do with that. I think they would be better at producing something like that. I really want to see them expand their horizons following this album and really improve as producers, because this one is, I think, a flop production-wise and both diversity-wise. Like I said, there's only a couple of interesting jams on here, and the two that I really did like on this one were released prior to this album, so this one was pretty disappointing. I'm going to give this one a solid 2. You guys remember with my Laid Back Luke review, I gave that one a solid 2 as well, for very different reasoning, mostly because that one was fairly generic, just EDM sounds and kind of scattered production-wise. I think this one was the same way. They really need to improve as producers before they stick out a new album. And honestly, I think they do have a future if they go the direction Yellow Claw went with their album, album, kind of providing all these different styles and throwing these spins with certain sounds that you really wouldn't expect, and that's what's going to give a good rating. If you just give me something I wasn't expecting at all, that's how you're going to get a good rating from me. Of course they don't care because they're enjoying the high life without good reviews from me, so what do I have to say anyway? Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hope you don't hate me for giving 2 solid 2s in a row when I gave some pretty generic sounding albums higher ratings this year. Just really didn't like it, so let me know what you think in the comments. Listen to it if you haven't yet. Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you use. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this little review, and next time you see me it probably won't be with this, so say goodbye to the mustaches. Goodbye to you. Okay, anyway, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you later. Oh, I look like a giant in this. Oh, anyway, see ya. Peace.